in San Antonio, Texas, the Lone Star State, for another American Football Events Team USA event. And I'm joined by one of the coaches, by popular demand, Coach Floyd. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. About yourself?
Doing pretty good. And I got to say, you are a character. This is why I wanted to have you on here, because everybody says if you talk to any coach, it's got to be Coach Floyd. How you feel about that?
I mean, it's great. I mean, I enjoy having fun. I mean, life is too short not to have fun. And I mean, to me, being part of AFE is a family. And, same as my family, I have fun with my family. So why not do it here?
Yeah, absolutely. And for AFE, football is family. And obviously, you're a Texas native, and now we're going to have an event here in your state. How does that feel about, being able... It's not your backyard, but this is football country, USA, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, for me, it's great. I mean, for everybody to come down to Texas and to see how Texas guys do it, as they say. So, I mean, yes, Texas is a football state. But, I mean, until you come here and you play some guys from Texas as a whole, as a team, you never really fully understand the ramifications or the fun that Texas football really has.
And how does Texas do it?
I mean, Texas, we are, unlike the East Coast, the West Coast, and all that, right? We have speed and we have finesse and we have power. The East Coast got, they, and the West Coast, I mean, the East Coast and Midwest, they do a lot of ground and pound. I mean, then you got the West Coast, they do a lot of, spread. And, Texas has it all. And, we have spread, we can do ground and pound, and we have speed on both sides of the ball. And, when people see that, it'd be like, okay, well, them Texas boys, they really know how to play, because they only see one side of players when they playing.
So, American football events, my first event with them was at Virginia Beach, the All-Star. But now it's not, brother versus brother, so to speak. You guys are actually going to play another team and have it be, not just for bragging rights, but the real deal. That, your bread and butter right there, that's the kind of game you like, where, we're not all winners, At the end of the day, we're all winners because we're all Team USA. There will be a winner and loser, at the end of this one.
Yeah, I like playing against other teams. I mean, sometimes it's all about bragging rights. I'm from Texas, so yes, it's about bragging rights. And I consider myself one of the good DCs in the state of Texas, right? But if you never give me a chance, you never know me. You'll never know. And this is an opportunity for me to show the guys from Houston, San Antonio, Austin, teams that would never get a chance to play up in Dallas, how good a DC I can be. Even though I'm not the DC, you can see my skills by my players.
How long's football been part of your life?
After high school, I played 2 years in college at University of Central Arkansas. After that, I played 6 years overseas, and while I was still in the military. And I was one weekend from trying out with Frankfurt Galaxy, and that was American football in Europe. And so it's been a while. I've been coaching since 2005.
2005.
So I enjoy it a lot. I have never gotten paid to do it with my services. And, I just do it because of the passion that I have for the game. And the coach told me a long time ago, when you can't play no more, you teach. And so that's what I do.
So you can't do, you teach. And obviously that's a big part of giving back, which is what AFE is really all about. What's your favorite thing outside of the football for you for AFE?
The camaraderie. I mean, you build a camaraderie with guys that you met one day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're only here for 3 days. We build a camaraderie in one day with the meet and greet, and then go out and doing community service. Like we went to the crit today. A lot of people in the world don't understand, never heard of the crit, and so they don't understand what it means. So when guys come here from wherever and they see that, they'd be like, okay, well, there are other people out there. I'm complaining about my big foot hurt, but there are people out there have it worse than me, and I do what I do every weekend, and they can't, but they wish they could. That's one thing I like about AFE. I coached semi-pro back in, up in Dallas, and I'd be trying to get teams, owners to go do community service, but it's so hard sometimes, and guys don't want to volunteer to do it. So when I come here, I look forward for the community service, whether it's going to the crib, even like today they painted walls in the crib. So that type of stuff right there excites me, because now I'm really, really hands-on giving back to the community.
How important is giving back to you when it comes to not only coaching now and bestowing the knowledge that you have to young players, but knowing that football gave you so much that this is like the least you can do to give back is by giving back to the different communities that you guys go to?
It's great for me. I mean, especially when, like today, we put smiles on kids' faces. And, even though they was in a little pain doing that physical therapy, we still made them smile. And then as far as the player goes, I mean, for guys, for me to teach them what I know right now, and then for them to take it back to California, Wisconsin, Ohio, wherever they're from, to take it back, and they tell me or text me and be like, "Hey, coach, I used what you taught me, and I was killing." And that's my job. My job is well done. I've accomplished my goal. What my coach told me: when you can't play, you teach.
So what's the future hold for Coach Floyd? Like, what's next? Are you going to go back to Texas and you're going to keep teaching the game, or is there an end game for you, an ultimate goal?
Well, the big goal that I want to do right now is I'm going to go get my teacher certification. I've actually lost 2 jobs because I didn't have my teacher certification to coach high school football.
Wow.
And so I'm going to go back and get my teacher certification and see where that goes. And, hopefully I can land a job in high school for 1 or 2 years, and hopefully a coach wherever can be like, okay, well, I need a new face as a DC at a junior college or a D3 school or wherever. And, I get my opportunity to shine.
How long do you see yourself being involved in AFE? As long as you can? Is it kind of you ride until the wheels fall off?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I even told Coach G once, I was like, Coach G, this really sometime I really make me think I want to stop working and just do this full time.
Yeah.
I mean, unrealistically, I know I can't do that, but that's how, that's what make it, that's what I love and enjoy about this program. I wouldn't change it for the world. Nothing.
You got the kind of personality where, I can tell that you are charismatic, you're funny, a jokester, but you're a coach. And so sometimes you got to go out there on that field, lay the hammer down. Is it hard to do that, knowing that this is like a family and you got to yell at your kids basically, but your kids are grown-ass adults and you got to lay down the law every once in a while?
No. I don't. I have no problem with it. I mean, because one thing I'd say, I tell them one time, I would say anything. I take that back. I won't say anything on the court, but on the field. But if you get in trouble, I'm going to scold you. I'm going to get on your case because I just told you not to go out there and do that. But at the same time, I might take 5 steps away, then come back and crack a joke. That's getting you comfortable and you're not staying in that same mode. That mode. Oh, coach just chewed me out. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna chew you out, but then I'm gonna turn back around. I'm gonna get you relaxed so you can go back out there and do what you need to be doing. So no, it's not a problem at all. I really enjoy it because guys tend to listen to that a little more than you just scold them and not telling them what they did wrong or
First order.
Just to be talking.
Yeah.
You get nothing from a grown man by just yelling at him. Nothing. He's just gonna shut down on you and just look at you like you're crazy and be like, "Man, I'm a grown as man just like you. You gonna talk to me like that?" And so I try to. I just ask them what happened, and they tell me what happened. Now the conversation doesn't nowhere, and I just keep moving on.
Well, Coach Floyd, I gotta say it's been an honor to finally have you on here. I know we talked about it last time, and you were a bit mic shy, which I didn't think was going to be possible for someone like you. But nonetheless, Here you are. You're just like, I can maybe talk next time.
Yeah, it is what it is. I like to have fun, so
Absolutely.
I've learned a long time ago, life is too short. Tomorrow is the promise. So enjoy the day for what you can enjoy it as, and you keep, you wake up to see to the next day, you do it all over again.
Yep. Well, he is Coach Floyd, and he's all smiles as we get ready for another great practice and then the big event Saturday for Team USA and American Football Events, San Antonio.
Yes, sir.
Thanks again, Coach Floyd.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, more from the Holiday Inn, the 19th floor. We've got Raymond Belle, veteran, making a return. Don't call it a comeback, right? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm blessed to be back. It feels great to be back. I feel, just being back with everyone. I stopped playing a year ago. I had the itch, and this was the perfect opportunity for me to come back and play, and here I am.
One thing I've always loved about athletes, probably more so football players, it seems like I see that athletic, that competitive itch that you were talking about. We went to the crit today and did wheelchair soccer, and even that became like a thing. Like you get guys that
competition.
It's like, I'm not losing this game. It's like, is anybody keeping score? I'm keeping score.
Exactly.
Like I'm going to tell you right now, I got score keeping right now, and I love that. I really do. I love that about not only sports, but I think everybody needs to have a little bit of a competitive itch they got to scratch, because what else it
makes you strive to be better.
Yeah.
Like you see somebody that's better than you and be like, well, you're not gonna be better than me than today. So it's just one of those things. Like all the guys on this team want to compete, and they want to compete against each other because we're the best of the best, and anything we do is going to be a competition. So that's kind of how that transpired.
Now, do you guys get film on the teams that you're playing? Because the events are kind of far and few between. There's 6 a year, and you guys sometimes don't even know who you're playing because things can obviously fall through, and then you don't know until like a month out. So how does, as an athlete, as a competitor, preparing for something like that, how's that work out?
You just work on your skill set, the best that you can, and when you come to practice, just do what you're supposed to do, and don't try to do things that's something that you don't normally do. Now, granted, if they put you somewhere where you're not familiar with, then you just do your best. It's hard sometimes when you don't have film, because film is very big on everything. But when you have the right pieces to just go out and just do it, then having film on it's irrelevant.
I feel like the absence of film would make it more of a player accountability kind of thing.
Correct.
Where it's like, as long as you don't miss your assignment, there's not a whole lot of room for error. So when it comes to practices, you can have the coaches cracking the whip on you, but are you guys, for the most part, pretty, accountable as far as you're holding yourself as well as your roommate, your friend?
Because football is do your job. Everybody has a job. If I'm coming to help you do your job, who's doing my job? And then that's when something breaks, or that's when something, that's not supposed to happen happens. So everybody do your job, and that's pretty much how that works. You'll hear the coach say it 100 times. Just do your job. Do your job. And that's, be held accountable for what you're supposed to do.
And I know that football gets, a bad rap as far as, well, the guys are only in motion for maximum 8 to 10 seconds between, from snap to completion, or whatever the case may be. And the rest is them, in the huddle, or they're trying to clock manage. And so there's a lot of mental stuff that goes on. But in all honesty, you look at soccer, probably the most conditioned athletes out there. You look at basketball, you look at baseball, there's a lot of really great team sports, but football, I feel like, is probably one of the greatest team sports, because when that ball is snapped, it might only be for, 5 to 10, 12 seconds, depending, but you're talking about 11 guys on each side, 22 total, that have to work in unison together, that are trying to stop one side from doing something else.
Right.
How crazy is that?
When the play comes in, it could be a 5-mile long play, but there's only one piece that's yours. So it may look like a lot, and it's a lot to learn sometimes, but most coaches, if you stick with the same coach or the same team, then everything stays the same.
What do you love about football?
Man, to be honest with you, actually gave me goosebumps right now. Just the passion. I love the game. I love to be able to just be free, go run, go hit people. call it crazy, but just the bounce of the turf, like, hey, another crazy one, like the smell of the locker room, being around the guys, like, you know, it's just certain things that when you get around it after you haven't been around it for a while, it's like, man, like I miss that. Like it drives me. Like the whole week before I come up here, it would just like things would like trigger it, and I would just my adrenaline would just start pumping, and I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to get out there, and that's just the passion and the love I have for this game. Like, I probably shouldn't be playing. Like, I've had numerous concussions, and, you know, my family, they are, well, I don't want you to play. It's my passion. If something happens to me while I'm playing, so be it. I was in the Marine Corps for 8 years. What could possibly happen to me that I haven't dealt with while I was in? So, like, football to me is, and it's an outlet. Like, I can release stress. I can release, you know, whatever I want to do within the game. I can do that. And this is my perfect opportunity to do it. We're a better place to play than with a family-oriented group that's organized, that does stuff for the community. Where else can you get that?
Very true. So, football and an absence of competition and playing was the itch, and AFE was the scratch. Why AFE, though?
Because you have your semi-pro minor league teams. They don't practice like we do. They don't do the community service that we do. 9, 8 out of 10 probably are not as organized. You know, it's structure. The structure is what holds everything together. And a lot of the other teams that they really don't have that unless you have a really good owner. And I've had a couple. Chris Boykins, he ran the same type of organization as this. And, you know, other than that, it's hard to compare to AFE because it's so different. So that's what brings you back.
Yeah, I could see that. And, you know, my first event was Virginia Beach, and I heard a lot coming into this one that, well, there were a lot of exceptions, a lot of things that we don't normally do that we did Virginia Beach because it was the All-Star game, you know, and I said, oh, okay. But the core of it stayed the same, you know, the discipline, the camaraderie like Coach Floyd was talking about, and just this overall sense of like, you know, you guys are here for a game and to compete, but, you know, there's so much more beyond it than that. I mean, some of you guys, like, this is one of the biggest joys that you'll find, you know, however many times a year. For some of you, this is a way to give back. For some of you, this is a way to just, you know, get it out. Go do, you know, go hit somebody, go play some ball, go have fun. And I think that's really great about the organization and what I've learned from it, you know, because I always have a good time with AFE, and I know it's only been my second event, but I have been around other organizations that are not as well run, and it shows. It really does. So,
you know, and prior to me playing with AFE, once I started playing with AFE, I quit playing the semi-pro minor league. That it was strictly AFE.
Yeah.
I knew we had certain events coming up, and you know, every 3 or 4 months, you stay in shape and stay ready for them. You just don't have a lot of the contact, but everything else stays the same. Like being off for, you know, over a year now, I had to really, you know, get back in the gym and put some size on and run. And, you know, I wasn't out of shape, but I wasn't in my football shape that I previous had been in. So, you know, life happens. You know, I've got kids. I got a new house. I don't know when it's going to go in the air, but, you know, I'm going to propose to my girlfriend at the end of the game on Saturday. So, you know, it's big, and like I choose to do that because, for one, that's how I want to do it, and two, like, what better place than to be around family and your friends? You know, that's big to me. You know, some people have all these extravagant proposals. I don't need all that. It's coming from me and what I love. You know, and she's been a big part in supporting me on this. So why not?
So is this going to be it for you? Like, you had the itch because you were away for so long.
Oh, that's a good question.
You scratch it, you get to propose. I mean, it's like kind of riding off into the sunset. Short of a win. We haven't even talked about the outcome of the game.
And I know she would love to go to Cancun. Like I said, we do have kids from previous relationships, and then we have one of our own. And, we'll see. That happens to fall on my birthday, which is December 14th. So I told her, I was like, man, that'd be a good birthday, But we'll see. It's hard because I have a lot of people helping me out right now with the kids, like my parents, her parents, because they know what I'm doing. She don't. So, and that's one of the biggest things right now, is the kids. So.
Stuff to think about. Yeah. Well, hey, man, best of luck in whatever you do. I think obviously it's great for people to come back because they missed it so much, do what they love. But you'll know when the time is that you're done, walk away.
And I'll see how I feel after the game.
All right, he's Raymond Belle coming back for a major comeback.
Yes, sir.
Team
Thank
USA.
you.
Thank you. All right, from high up in the Holiday Inn, 19th floor, I'm joined by Anothny, Rini, Lyman, and you. Last night, it was you, Bernhardt, and Endries that were trying to figure out who had been to more AFE events. And who finally settled that? Who's been here for the most?
I don't know. I know this is my 8th event.
You know this is your 8th. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Took me a little bit after we were going through that. But.
3 of you standing there. Wait, is this... How many... Wait. Oh, but that one. Okay, got it. So... we're here in San Antonio for another AFE event. First one I did was Virginia Beach, the All-Stars, and this is what I've been told, more business as usual, because you guys aren't playing each other, you're actually playing another team, and the schedule's not quite as chaotic, because there's a lot of you guys at that Virginia Beach event.
Yes, sir.
So now we've got the best of the best, filtered out from the All-Star game. Invites went out, here we are, you guys are going to play another team, but... we had the crit event today, and it being your 8th event, I mean, clearly something keeps you coming back. What does AFE in football mean to you?
The AFE's family. I mean, I don't even consider them extended family. They're my family. Like Ray Belle, he's been around since I first started with AFE. Kevin Ford, there's so many guys I can't even rattle off, and they're all my brothers. Will be till the end. They need something, I'll drop whatever I'm doing to help. Go wherever I need to go. It's just one of those things. It's kind of like a military camaraderie. I served in the Navy for quite a few years, and there's still guys I talk to. I've been out for 7 years now. There's still guys I talk to. And that'll never change here when my time's done.
You did strike me as a military guy. I remember when I, first talked to Coach G online about, what he wanted me to do and my role in AFE. And then as I added a few people, you came up as one of my people you might know, and I was like, God, this guy looks like he could rip my head off, just clean off. He looks like he's not to be trifled with. And I get here, and I meet you, and I'm like, he's one of the nicest guys. But you were mic shy, and I said, oh, maybe we'll get him next time. So here you are sitting down across from me, and we're having this conversation. How does event number 1 compare to event number 8? Like, if you can even recall, whatever details you can.
Well, I remember the first event. I mean, it was a lot more of the unknown. Yeah. Because I had no clue what I was walking into. I received this package from SG, of all my stuff, my helmet, my, all the gear that we have, and I'm like, all right, time to pack. I get to Cancun, and we get picked up in a bus, and I'm like, okay. Now, I'd been associated with Coach G through the National All-Star Game with the NFE for quite a few years before that, before I started with the AFE. And it was a different beast than what I was used to, but it was more of what I needed what you miss when you're out of the military. You miss something. You have that like hole that you're just missing something, and Yeah, football fills it, but the AFE family completes it.
So your first event was an international one. Like, so you had to pack to go somewhere that's not your native home of USA. Oh, man, I can't imagine, because I know how Sandy is for these events here in the U.S. I can't imagine what she'd be like, across the border somewhere where you can't just, assume that you can do this or that where you're at. So how many times did you get in trouble by her before you were like, I'm never, ever going to screw up again?
I have not been in trouble with
You've
Miss G.
never... That's a lie.
Ask her.
Really? Wow. It's like a unicorn sighting.
Miss G's Miss G.
Yeah.
I know her job's hard enough. I don't add to it. I make sure all my stuff's done on time when she needs it or beforehand. I help her out where I can. And then, yeah.
As a veteran, how much responsibility for stuff do you take upon yourself?
There's a decent amount. It's our responsibility to make sure the rooks or the new guys are up to speed on everything. It's our job when we get to the field. This is how we act. This is how we do things. No other way. So it's a lot of responsibility when you got grown men telling other grown men what to do, and how to do things. This is how we do things. But it's all in the approach. If you don't just, hey, this. Hey, man, we don't do that kind of stuff here.
Well, I mean, not only do you have military background, but I mean, this organization has shown me that there's a certain amount of self-accountability.
Yes.
And obviously, as a veteran and one of the more tenured ones at that, it's where you sit in a room and they say, okay, look to your left. Okay, now look to your right. You're responsible for that guy. And it's this machine only runs as well as the pieces within it, and that goes beyond the staff. That's the players too. You got a guy that's late to the bus for practice. Everybody's got to suffer. Don't be that guy. So for you, do you think it's largely in part to the military background, or has AFE taught you something maybe the military didn't, as far as when it comes to mentorship and just sort of passing it on?
It's a little bit different. I mean, everything's still the same because the structure and everything else, it was easy for me to adapt. I'm used to all this. Got to be somewhere a certain time. You be there at a certain time. You got to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. No problem. The difference is in the military, it's cut and dry, cut and dry, cut and dry. With AFE, there's emotions involved, like going to the crit. It humbles you like you have no idea.
I imagine so.
And I've been to two of them in Cancun, the twice at the same one in Cancun, and now this one. And each time it just humbles you and pushes you that little bit farther.
I can see that for sure. So you were at Virginia Beach. We did the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're here for one of your guys' quote-unquote normal events. What's it like for you on game day, stepping out on that field? Do you know when your last game will be? Or is it kind of you cross that bridge when you get there?
My body's telling me. I know the guys are going to bust my chops, but I've said it for a year that I'm retiring. My body just can't take it no more. And so I'm not going to Cancun in December.
Wow.
I haven't registered. My team back home, I've relinquished reins to another center and kind of riding off into my own sunset the way I want to.
That's all you can do.
When I'm done with it, I want to pass the knowledge.
There you go.
I'm going to start coaching.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot locked up here.
There's a lot of very successful coaches with military backgrounds, and I can't help but always see the correlation there. It's like you've got, in the NFL, 53 guys, that you're trying to get to work a certain way, work together. It's like, how do you do that without discipline? So I think you've got a lot to offer in that standpoint. And, Cancun is great and all, but obviously that would be your first event. It would be poetic to be your last, but football game in football country, USA, San Antonio, Texas, man. I mean, doesn't get much bigger than that.
It would have if it would have been in Ohio.
The
home of football.
The home of football, that's right. It did start all the way back there. Man, 100 years of football. That's crazy.
And I play, and that's it. I play for that city.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that it was on your terms. And I'll say, I'm going to miss you. I think you're a great asset player, coach, mentor, whatever. I mean, you're the whole package for AFE as far as what they could have asked for to come out of a program like this.
I'm not going too far from this program. Hopefully. I'm going to start submitting to be a coach for the AFE events next year.
There you go. Well, it'll be an honor to see you take that field. I'll be on the call. Excited for it again. So
maybe we'll do it again as a coach.
Hey, I'm not beyond it, man. I'm always up for it. But I'll let you make sure you got your stuff, get to the bus. But he is Anothny Rini. He's not going to be that guy. He is going to have one last rodeo down here in Texas this Saturday. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Pleasure being here.
Do you remember the time that Mark Sanchez ran into his own player's blood? That was funny sports.
Thank you for having me on the show, man. I love the F.A.N show.